Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Magic the Gathering Arena, we're going to have the release of Innistrad, the next set. So I thought I would do some reflections, look back at Dungeons and Dragons, Forgotten Realms, kind of talk about like the cards that I liked, and then also look at my collection. And then this is really the first set where I've kind of done the full experience since starting the game maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But I was there from day one. I eventually saved up enough gems to buy the Mastery, so I got all of those. And I have pretty close to a complete set, so yeah, pretty impressive, I think, what the game gives you as a free-to-play user, so let's have a look here. But White didn't play a whole ton. I did use this guy, Celestial Unicorn. I never got the throwback alternate artwork for this card. Kind of regret that, but oh well. I did get it for this one, however. Never used this, but happy to have the artwork there. And we're just looking at commons right now. And then there are a bunch of cards that go into the dungeon. I don't use these a ton, though. But there's one of those pre-made decks that's black and white that does go through the dungeon. And that one's fun. I like to go play with that one. But moving ahead, if I were to make a new deck, I don't know how much I would really focus on the dungeons. Alright, then we got blue. I like this one. Just a 1/1 flyer for 1. You can also scry with it. Nice blocker. This one took me a long while to pull. I think it was like one of the last couple packs that I ever pulled. Finally got this guy, the common. Okay, dark. We have 2 pretty crazy cards, Shambling Ghast, and then a Deadly Dispute. When I play Magic, I usually like to just have like one of in my decks of just everything. I'm not like super focused on anything. I would rather have like lots of different cards and just kind of adapt to whatever I pull. But you look at like the more high-level decks, and they got lots of 3 copies or 4 copies of stuff. I'm not quite there where I want to play like that, but Shambling Ghast and then Deadly Dispute are cards that I do want multiples of in my black decks, so it's nice to have those. And then Sepulture Ghoul, I think that's how you say that. He can sacrifice other creatures. He's not nearly as good as some of the other creatures that are in my black-red decks, but those are more like historic, or I guess they're going to be historic now. But he's a decent choice if I had nobody else for that deck. But yeah, that black-red deck, the sacrifice version, doesn't work as well in 2022. What else we got? I have this one, yeah. I don't know why it doesn't choose the alternate artwork, or like why it doesn't set. I've like changed that many times, but it keeps going back. All right, we're in red. Dragon's Fire, love this card, especially in dragon decks, of course. But yeah. Plundering Barbarian, I use this all the time, often in my dragon decks, but comes into play, creates a treasure to get more mana. And then after that, I don't care if he dies or not. He can just be a blocker. Price of Loyalty, like that. Steal enemies. Forwarding Ogre, also create treasures, like him. Unexpected Windfall, I like this. Draw more cards. Alright, then we get into green. Don't use green a lot. I like this guy for the Death Touch. And alternate artwork there, too. This guy... Yeah, I did get that. Alright, let's set that. Alright, and then Evolving Wilds. This is the first of the module alternate artwork. When I first saw these in the previews, I was like, oh my god. These are very cool to have. And other relics, or artifacts, rather. Okay, great. Let's look at uncommons. Portable Hole, that's a useful card. I like this guy for my dragon decks. Gets a little bit of boost and then protects my dragons. I have never seen this card before. Yeah. Ah, here's a white dragon. I like it, but it's kind of expensive for what it is and does. And blue. Here's another alternate artwork. And black. I like this card. It's a little hard to get out, of course, but yeah, it's fairly strong. And then in a sacrifice deck, your guys are dying all the time anyway, so it's not too difficult to get them out. Let's see, this card's very strong. Good blocker, too, in addition to everything else. Sacrifice guys. And I like this guy, too. Again, with a sacrifice deck, lots of my guys are dying, so I can create lots of skeletons that way. And yeah, makes skeletons, vampires, and zombies stronger. Might be good for the next Innistrad set, but really like this one. And another alternate artwork that does not default. Alright, and then red. I said before I don't know if I was going to ever use a barbarian class, but I like it for the haste. Especially with the dragon deck. You can combine that with... what's his face? With the minion of the mighty, and then get out more dragons that way, so that's good. Magic missile. I keep going back and forth on this, whether I like it or not. It never goes to waste, because even if you use it to take down like just a 1 toughness creature, you can use the remaining 2 damage on the other player. So yeah, it's fine. Red dragon. Get the artwork there. All of the original is pretty good. What else we got? Here is an alternate artwork card that I never pulled. It's tempting just for the just for being a completionist, but not today, I think. And alternate artwork here. That was one of the best decisions I ever made, was to buy the alternate artwork for the dragons. That's really fun. Alright, and then some multicolor cards. I should use this card more, but I don't. For some reason. Alright. This is one of the most annoying cards to go against, just because every time they pull life, they can scry, so they really slow down the games. Try to kill her as quick as possible. Alright, that'll do it for uncommons. Next, let's look at rares. Let's see. Oh, I like all of the lands that turn into creatures. They've won me some games. Like, they can't be counterspelled, so I can just have like an empty board and then bring out the monster land and attack and win sometimes. This is a pretty hilarious card. I like walls, and then yeah, you and your opponent can draw cards. If you're feeling like taking a chance, that works. This one looks interesting. I don't have it, but blinking your stuff. Blinking's not really a mechanic that I've tried very much, but it does look powerful. Here is one of the monster lands that I never pulled, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until like the next set comes out, see if there's anything I want to use my wild cards on more. But I will get that someday. Let's see. I like this card. This one's good. More often than not, he is hitting the player. And this one's strong too. This one has alternate artwork, which I have not bought yet. I may or may not get that. Here is another monster land. This one's really good. Empty their graveyard. Yeah, a lot of good black cards. Gelatinous Cube is good. Westgate Regent is good. And another land here. Here's Minion of the Mighty, one of my favorite cards from the set. Not necessary at all for a dragon deck, but fun when it works. And Orb of Dragonkind, just pulled a bunch of these. That's very lucky. Wish I want to make work. I have a blue-red deck, which is kind of fun, and this might be good in there. Cast sort of like maybe more specialist spells that I don't need in every deck, but might need sometimes. And then we got green. Let's see, yeah, I pulled a lot of these good cards just randomly. Ranger class, Werewolf Pack Leader. Don't play green a ton, but sometimes I do. This one's good too. A lot of mana. Okay, then multi-element cards. This guy came with the black-white dungeon deck, and he's pretty good. I enjoy using that guy. Let's see, this guy I pulled randomly. He's good, and I love the black-red decks, but I haven't used him very much. Oh, and then I randomly pulled a couple of these guys, and then just to try it out, I built a deck and played some games, and when it works, it's pretty crazy. Alright, Adult Gold Dragon, that is an excellent card. Let's see, and then some artifacts, okay. Alright, finally, let's look at Mythic Rare. And I have over half of them, so that's pretty good, I think. First we got Book of Exalted Deeds. The game just gave me 3 of them. So I'll put it into my white decks, and then I'll use it with Faceless Haven. I'm not above doing that. I played one game that went to like 45 minutes because nobody could win. They also had a life gain deck, and we were just waiting for the other to quit. I eventually won, but yeah, I'm not above playing this. Here's Icing Death. Maybe the worst of the Mythic Rare dragons. It's kind of just there to die so that you can get the sword. Can we see that? Yes, we can. Yeah, it's a good sword. Demilick, this is one of the more interesting cards. I'm also using this guy in my blue-red deck, and he's fun. A little difficult to use, but he's good. In a multicolored deck, he's a little hard to cast because he costs the 4 blue. But then, like, he can like get stuff from your graveyard, so like your graveyard kind of becomes another hand. So if you use a lot of spells, or if you discard a lot of spells, you can access that with this guy. So I do like him. I want to use him more in the future. And then Imrith, he's good. I got the first copy of him using a wild card, and then I just pulled 2 of him randomly. So I wish I'd waited, but he's good. Let's see. This guy I got from the black-white handout dungeon deck. He's pretty strong. I feel like he's stronger, though, going through the dungeon than after you cast him going through the dungeon. And then here's Ebondeath. This is maybe one of the more surprising cards. I wasn't too impressed with him when I read him on paper, but when I saw him in battle playing against him, and then later pulling him and then using him, he turned out to be pretty good. Yeah, I didn't like that he tapped when he entered the battle, and I didn't like that he only had 2 toughness, but despite that, he's pretty good. Lolth, I hear, is very good, but haven't used the wild card yet to get her. And then another dragon here. This one's good. I like that it has haste, and then 6 power means that he makes dragon's fire stronger. This one pulled randomly. Don't really use it. This is, I think, the only monocolor Mythic Rare Dragon that I haven't gotten yet. I don't know if I'm going to use a wild card for that. And then Tarisk. Tarisk is fun. After I pulled him randomly, I made a commander, a brawl deck with him, and it's pretty fun to play. You can only play green cards, but basically you're just kind of playing your turns and then staying alive until you can cast him. And then once you cast him, then the game really turns in your favor because he's that powerful. So it's kind of fun. It's like a countdown to death using him. And then the early days of Dungeons & Dragons, I used Xanathar a lot, and he's fun. But maybe the latter half of the event, of the release. Haven't really used him, but I'll start using him again soon. Him too. I used a wild card to get the first one, and then the game gave me 2 later. So, oh well. And then finally we have Deck of Many Things. Never used this, but could be fun. I'm interested to see how that Natural 20 skill would work. Okay, so that was a look at my gets of the Dungeons and Dragons set. Very satisfied with the experience, and it was a fun set as well. And then when Innistrad comes out, I'm going to save up my gems so I can get the mastery of that too. And then maybe whenever it is released later today, I think, maybe I'll buy like a half dozen packs and then open them and then make a video about that too. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.